Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Taylor Lauren here. And here on my channel, I talk about my life as a beauty queen, as a wife, and as a mama. So if any of that content interests you, then just keep on watching. Y'all, in today's video, we are going to get vulnerable for the mamas out here. And we're going to be talking about postpartum depression and my journey and experience with postpartum depression. Hopefully it'll give you some insight and some understanding and empathy, and above all, community, so you don't feel like you're the only one going through it. If you're a mom or if you're an expecting mom, you won't be taken by surprise if it is something that you do experience. So before I go ahead and share with y'all, I wanted to also share with y'all my new glasses. I finally got my prescription updated just after after 15 months of, not really being able to do anything. I finally got my prescription updated. These glasses are very similar to my Tiffany's. I actually have 3 pairs of glasses now, y'all. So I am the type of person, I like investing in eyeglasses because my eyesight is pretty bad and I like to splurge on my glasses. So the 2 that I normally have are my navy Marc Jacobs pair. I love these, and I also have my Tiffany pair of eyeglasses. And back when I was a Mary Kay consultant, when I made my first $1,000 in sales, in Mary Kay you get like 50% of whatever you sell. I spent my commission on this pair of Tiffany eyeglasses. This was like my first big girl purchase. These glasses were like $500-600. So they're very, very sentimental to me, and I don't own any Tiffany jewelry yet. I go back and forth about getting Tiffany jewelry because I'm not a big jewelry person. Since I've been with my husband, I've become more of a jewelry person because Corey likes to buy me jewelry. But I'm not really a big jewelry person. I just like the idea of jewelry. I like jewelry on other people. I love earrings. I love studs, but I'm always on the fence about purchasing Tiffany jewelry because I'm like, I know I'm not going to wear it, but I love just Tiffany as a brand and just the marketing, and it's just so timeless and classic and diamonds and sparkle and all that. But anyway, these are my Tiffany pair of glasses. I actually need to get these updated. Corey's insurance at work is really good, so with our insurance I was actually able to get 2 free pair of glasses. So I got this new pair and I had them update my Michael Kors glasses. I think I called these Marc Jacobs earlier, but these are actually Michael Kors. So I had these updated for the prescription and got these. I was very wary about sending my Tiffany's to get updated because they're so sentimental and I needed glasses to wear while I waited on the new ones to come in. So yeah, I actually need to wash my handkerchief. It's all dirty with makeup. But yeah, I really like my new glasses, and that's just something that I get excited about and something that I like to splurge on. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. But let's go ahead and get into what y'all are really here for, which is the postpartum experience. Y'all, so I'm gonna go back to the beginning. So my pregnancy was just very happy, very low risk, no complications, no morning sickness, like nothing. Blair was very good to us when she was in utero, and it was just such a happy time. Like my happy hormones were up there, like up there. I was so happy. And even like right after having her, I was still just very happy on cloud 9. I loved breastfeeding. I've always wanted to be a mom. And now that time had finally came and I was just so happy. Fast forward a little bit, somewhere between Blair being 8 to 10 months, when she started becoming like way more active, um, I started feeling a little guilty. I was working from home, and I was essentially a work from home call center agent. And I was already not very happy at work because when I was about 6 months pregnant with Blair, I decided to leave nannying and to find a work from home job because I said, I'm not taking care of anyone else's kids anymore. It's my time to be a mom. I just want to focus on my baby. And that transition itself, oh, excuse me, to like a traditional job was hard for me because I've always nannied. I've never had coworkers. I've never experienced like being micromanaged at work. So that was different, like having to interact with people at work, having kind of someone to answer to. Of course, like when I nanny, like the parents are my boss, but it's really more so like a collaborative effort, and I'm collaborating with them to help them raise their children and manage their households. And my line of work, I'm really, looked at as the expert, and parents are coming to me for parenting advice and organization advice and those types of things. So having a regular job just was a big adjustment for me. And as Blair became more active, I felt guilty that I couldn't be like really present with her because I was on the phone all the time. And I felt like I wasn't doing a good job at work, and I felt like there was always something that I was doing wrong, and I was always being picked on and picked at about something. Um, and it was frustrating, and it made me feel um, bad, honestly, because I was like, I know I work hard. I know I show up on time. I know that I do everything that I'm supposed to do. So why is there always a never-ending list of things that I'm doing wrong? And it really messed with my confidence. Um, I was angry and frustrated all the time. And then on top of that, I was working from home. I'm in the house all day. And I'm not like a super, super big, like, nature outdoorsy girl, but I love the occasional walk. I love being out, in the sunshine, and things like that. And I just kind of felt like I was cooped up, um, and that I was just in this bubble of constantly hearing what I was doing wrong. And I was really, really trying to do better and to improve, and it wasn't working. And at that point, Blair is like 10, 11 months, and I started thinking to myself, maybe I need to go back to doing what I know I'm good at, which is being a nanny and helping other people take care of their kids and helping other people manage their households. So I would say that was kind of like my first experience or my first episode with postpartum depression. And I do think that some people have triggers. Like with any other anxiety or depression, I think postpartum depression does have its triggers. And for me, I noticed that if I don't feel purposeful or productive, that can be a trigger for me. Um, and so I started looking for nanny jobs, and I found one, the same one that I have now. Um, I found a great family with an older child, um, and they were fine with me bringing Blair to work. So we're in February now. In September, I quit my work from home job and I started nannying again. And it's been great. It has really, really been working out. And I think sometimes we try so hard to make things work and to do a good job when it's not where we're supposed to be. and the season for that has ended. Like, working from home when Blair first got here was good and it worked, and it was kind of the stillness and the peace and the slow pace that I needed. But as she became more active, honey, I didn't want to, be sticking her in front of the TV all day while, I'm answering phone calls. And as she got older and she became more active, like, I wanted her to be around other people and other kids. But I wasn't quite ready to put her in childcare. And going back to nannying was a good fit for us. And it's been great. And I'm just very, very thankful. So, fast forward. I always said that I wanted to breastfeed for a year. My mom breastfed me for a year. I felt like a year was, a sweet spot for me. So when Blair turned 11 months, we started weaning. And by the time she turned 1 in November, she wasn't asking for milk anymore. She was pretty good. I was drying up anyway. So, around her first birthday, we started breastfeeding. And leading up to that point, maybe 2 weeks before her first birthday, I just started feeling drained and just sad, just very, very sad. And I don't know why. I never had thoughts about like hurting myself or hurting Blair, but I was just like sad and unhappy, y'all. And I felt so bad. I'm getting teary-eyed thinking about it, but I can't explain it. But I felt like all the life in me was like leaving. And I really think that stopping breastfeeding triggered that postpartum depression for me. And I was very, very sad to stop breastfeeding, even though I said that I was only going to do it for a year, even though we were weaning and all of that. I didn't know how emotional stopping was going to be and how emotional and sad it was going to make me. And I completely see why there are some moms that breastfeed their kids for years and years, and it's a bond that is very, very hard to break and to stop. And once we did stop, I noticed like my happy hormones and my estrogen levels just like dropping, because it is a supply and demand thing. And as long as you do it, the milk is going to be there. Those hormones are going to keep coming. But I was drying up anyway. We kind of like didn't have a choice. And once we stopped, and like once like we came to the day where I said, okay, this is the last day I'm going to breastfeed. And I look back on that picture all the time and I'm like, wow, like that was our last time. And once we stopped, I felt sad and I felt purposeless, and I felt like Blair didn't need me anymore, because when you breastfeed, that's equivalent to like a second or third job between breastfeeding and pumping and storing milk and all of that, y'all. Like, it's a lot of work. And for 12 months, that was a big part of my life. And when we stopped, I noticed that I had all of this time to reflect and to think. And in addition to how emotional I was when we stopped breastfeeding, there was also a part of me that was like, I've wasted a lot of time. Like, now I have all of this time. And it kind of made me think about how I haven't done anything for myself in a long time since having a baby. Um, I hadn't been to the hair salon. I hadn't been to the nail salon. I hadn't been to get waxed because just I hadn't had the desire to, really, because I've been so wrapped up and um, in the thicket of motherhood and loving every moment of it. But also, I am Blair's primary caregiver. I'm essentially a stay-at-home mom, and sometimes beauty parlors are, inappropriate places for children. So even if I did have the time to do it, I may not have, a sitter, or my mom may not be available to watch Blair, or my husband may not be available to watch Blair while, I do these things. So I was very emotional stopping, but it also made me feel like, wow, you've wasted a lot of time not doing anything for yourself. And it made me think about, when was the last time I did something for myself? When was the last time I worked on, any of the goals that I have for myself? When was the last time I gave some time to my identity outside of being a mom? And it made me feel really bad. It made me feel like, what is your life outside of being a mom? It kind of like everything caught up with me, if that makes sense. And I was very sad. I was very stressed. My hair started falling out. The postpartum shedding and breakage caught up with me. And there wasn't anything that anybody could do to make me feel better. And we finally came to a point where my husband was like, okay, I think you should see somebody. And y'all, I had 2 sessions with a therapist. And even the therapist was like, this isn't my specialty. I think that you need to see someone who specializes in postpartum depression. And that made me feel almost a little worse, because I was like, dang, like no one can help me through this. But it also kind of gave me peace of mind, because I was like, okay, this isn't just me. Like, this is something that a professional has seen before. She just can't help me with it because it's not her area of expertise. And I'm still looking for someone who specializes in postpartum. Even though I do feel better now, I do still just want to have someone to talk to so I can kind of manage my episodes. And that in itself has been hard. And just trying to find the time to dedicate to looking for somebody is like time that I don't necessarily always have, like a consistent amount of time. And just really talking to my husband and my mom and my mother-in-law have really made me feel better. I think just talking and just having a listening ear has helped, because at first I didn't know what was going on with me, and I always thought that postpartum depression was something that happens to you immediately after you give birth. And here I am, a year and some months into motherhood, and it was something that I was experiencing. And it just goes to show how different things can influence the timing of when you experience something. And I think that is probably one of the more scarier things about postpartum depression, is you don't know when it's going to hit you, if it does. Some women, it's, right after delivery. Other women like me, it's a year in. And then sometimes it's triggered by the stopping of something. Also, in my case, stopping breastfeeding. I really just had to sit with myself and be like, okay, what can I do to make me feel better? Why am I feeling the way that I feel in the first place? And what do I need from the people around me to help me feel better? So one of the things that I did is I got on the Peanut app, and I've spoken to a few moms on there. I haven't really made like any mom friends yet, like meeting in person or whatever. But just they have like these different chat boards based off of like different topics, like postpartum depression, potty training, starting daycare, and just seeing the different like threads really helps me. Just know that I'm not the only one. And if y'all don't know, Peanut is basically like Tinder for moms, essentially, where you can like make new mom friends and get advice and just engage and, you know, find other moms that are going through what you're going through. Another thing that I did is my husband told me about the Calm app, which I love. And I just do like a 10-minute meditation before I go to bed in the evenings, typically when I get out the shower. And I stretch when I do it, and it just helps me center. And if nothing else, that's 10 minutes of the day that I've had to myself and to do something for myself. I also cut my hair. I cut off the postpartum shedding and breakage, y'all. It was like 6 inches of hair, and that was kind of sad because my hair really did grow a lot when I was pregnant and like the beginning of my postpartum, but I've also cut my hair off like 3 times in my life, so I know that it's hair and that it's gonna grow back. But what I'm really excited about is, because my hair is shorter, it doesn't take as much time to style, and I really think that that's what I need right now with an active, walking, fast 15-month-old. It just would take me forever to do my hair because it's thick and it was long, and I do my hair, I do Blair's hair, and my husband has locks and I do his hair too, so it's just a lot of mom doing hair in the house. So the fact that my hair takes me half the time to do now just takes some things off of my to-do list. And yeah, y'all, that was pretty much how like my experience went with postpartum depression. I think just if I don't feel purposeful or like productive or like empty, that kind of is a trigger for me. And even since then, I've had like 2 kind of episodes where like I just break down crying because like Blair may be at my parents' house and I like really miss her, or I really, really miss breastfeeding her. And I've had like 2 incidences like that, and I just had to take a moment and breathe, and my husband will hold me and give me like the snuggles that I need. But I didn't realize how emotional it would be, because when I started breastfeeding Blair, she latched right off the womb. We didn't have any issues breastfeeding, and it just worked for us. But stopping has been way more emotional, and it's like way more emotional than like labor. I would say this part, stopping breastfeeding, has been like the hardest and the most emotional part of my motherhood journey thus far. And I really do think that it was kind of the drop in the cup that led to me having like this moment of postpartum depression. And what I was saying earlier about how when I stopped, I had all of this time, and it kind of made me think about things that I've been putting on the back burner since becoming a mom. And as far as those goals go, I'm trying to set aside time every week for me to work on the things that I want to do. Growing the YouTube channel. I want to start a mommy blog. I want to get into cricket and crafting and gift baskets and all that kind of stuff. So setting aside time to do the things that I enjoy as well. I'm working on those things and like marking that time out in my calendar just so I can, you know, be on a constant wave of happiness. And also realizing and telling myself that just because Blair isn't breastfeeding anymore doesn't mean that she doesn't need me anymore. She just doesn't need me in that way. And all the time that I spent breastfeeding, I can divvy up now, meal prepping for her and her trying new foods and spending time with her in other ways, like going outside and going for walks, spending time with my husband, spending time with myself, and just being comfortable and embracing the constant changes that motherhood brings. So yeah, that's where I'm at, y'all, and that has been my experience with postpartum depression. Every now and then I have an episode and, you know, I just have to breathe and remind myself of these things and these affirmations, and that I am a wonderful woman, I'm a wonderful wife, I'm a wonderful mom, and, you know, that it's emotional, but it is giving me experience, it's giving me character, it's giving me empathy, it's giving me memories. And for all the moms out there, you're not alone. We can do it, and we will get through it. We just have to embrace the changes and the things that are coming at us and open up to our loved ones, to our partners and spouses, so that they can support us as well, and hold on to the things that we like to do for ourselves. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful, that it was relatable. Make sure that y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.